I would like to closing the ceremony by inviting Themba from APRRN. Yay!
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
I don't know if you can see me as well. I've tried to turn on my camera on this side. But I just want to say, Nuchii, thank you so much for your excellent facilitation of this seminar. Thank you, BUCC and the Bangkok Urban Community Club for putting together a very, very impressive event. I appreciate all of the hard work that's gone into this. I appreciate very much also the time and energy of all of the speakers. I think all of the interventions today, everyone has been very interesting. And having been on a lot of seminars and a lot of panels over the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, I can't say that about all the seminars and panels that I've been on. This one has been exceptional in that way. The comments and questions have all been very, very interesting and apt. And I come away from it having learned a lot, but also having been inspired to find new ways that APRRN, where I work, and the members of APRRN might better support initiatives like this, bringing people together. In the last 3 days in the run-up to World Refugee Day, I've been on 3 different events. The first was a UNHCR regional meeting. The second was an APNOR regional discussion. And the third was this one. And I have to say that in terms of practicality and in terms of making fundamental progress towards refugee engagement and involvement at levels of advocacy and policy making, strategizing and facilitating solidarity across distance and across positions and across experience. This has been the best of the 3 in that way because it's so local. And that's not in any way to put down the others. They're very important that they have their place, but in this particular seminar, you can see the seeds of a movement in Thailand. This movement isn't new, but these connections are new, and these relationships and the trust building across all of these actors is fairly new. And that is very, very impressive to me. I've been very pleased to see that we've brought together on this call so many different people who are engaged and interested in advancing the rights of refugees, including donors. We've had donors on the call, advocates, academics, refugees themselves, all building those fundamental trust relationships that we need to have in order to make progress here. And that is, as I said, it's very motivating and it's very inspiring. And I feel like we're on the beginning crest of a wave, and that wave is growing. And it's not only growing in Thailand, it's growing across Southeast Asia, it's growing across Asia and the Pacific, and it's growing across the world. And that is, as the Global Refugee Network puts it, a movement that says nothing about us without us. And that's very apt for the refugee experience. In the last 50 to 70 years, refugee policy has been made from above. The most influential text in refugee studies, for example, is called Imposing Aid. And it's a critique of the idea of top-down management of circumstances affecting displaced people and people who are struggling to survive in rightsless environments. And now is a time that we can upend that model. And we've seen that power is not gifted, it's taken in so many instances. And we're seeing with the advent of technologies and the advent of these relationships, that space is being taken by people whose lives are being affected. And it's for us in the community and advocate community to facilitate that, to step back and listen, to make sure that our policies, that our practices, that our codes of conduct, that our approaches are all inclusive from the very start of the voices and opinions and decisions of not only refugees, but also the communities that are affected by displacement that are outside of the refugee experience. And I hope to see this movement continue to grow, and I think that it will. I don't think that that road will be smooth necessarily, nor do I think that it will be a short one, but I do think that the wave is moving. And I think that we have an idea of the end goal. And that end goal is a respect for the fundamental rights of refugees and ensuring that refugees and affected communities are involved in the responses. And we've seen that, especially in light of COVID and the needs around COVID. It's brought to many people's eyes a sense of common humanity. We've also seen through COVID the risks and the power plays in terms of state response. And the example of Malaysia was raised earlier, the rise in xenophobia. We cannot be lax in our responses. These are very, very difficult challenges. They're complex, and we all need to be on board, and we all need to be working together. So I think we need to step away from this seminar asking ourselves what we can do, how we can change to make this happen. And for those of us who are in positions such as mine, I'm not a refugee, but I have a certain amount of privilege that I'm very cognizant of, and a certain amount of access that I'm very cognizant of. How can we best utilize the tools that we have to make that change happen? And I think that there have been a lot of points raised over the course of this seminar that we could talk about and think about as we step away from this. One of the things I've really appreciated is the Thailand specific focus. And it's clear that some changes are coming in Thailand. The NSM will implement for the first time in history a framework that actually recognizes that some people in the country that are immigrants may be in need of some particular protection. It's a minor step, but it's also a major step, because that core recognition is the fundamental from which we build. So I'm glad to see the focus here. I'm glad to see the engagement of people in camps. I'm glad to see the engagement of people in urban settings. I'm glad to see the engagement of people across the region, because this is how we build that solidarity. This is how we build that movement. So I look forward to watching this movement grow, to listening as it grows, and to being as active as possible in helping to build it. And I can only imagine that if this is hosted again in a year from now on World Refugee Day, that we can look back at a year of progress. So I thank you all for all of your help. In the background, I'd like to thank Rachel from APRRN, Nuchii, who you've all seen on screen, for an excellent moderation job handling not only transit to an airport, but also the chat, the comments, the questions, and the speakers. You've done an excellent job. And to the Bangkok Urban Community Club for your hard work and dedication to this. Bakr, for your work, and of course to Asylum Access Thailand for being here and giving this comprehensive talk about the NSM. I won't list each speaker individually, but I will just reiterate that I think that these were very, very impassioned and very interesting discussions that were presented. So I thank you all, and I look forward to carrying on this conversation. And I hope that you all, wherever you are able to enjoy an evening of reflecting on these thoughts, but also come away from this feeling that same sense of motivation. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Themba. I think it's a very beautiful conclusion that, like, we are all matter and we are all have the role to improve the world, and there is no such an end goal since human is no limitation. So before to the end, I would like to invite you guys to do the solidarity action together. So
Nuchii, I think you're muted.
oh yeah, again. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, there are some few people left in the room, so thank you so much, and would like to take some group photos. So if people who are here feels like turn on your video. Yay! And then Rachel, can you help us take a screenshot since I'm on my phone? I can see only like 4 people in one screen. Okay, so we will do some simple symbolic. So first you put your index fingers here. Yeah. Okay. So this stand for I. Yes, good job, student Themba. And then you put your little finger like this. It's become a you. So it's become a you. So we have I and you today, but we still missing the verbs. So since a World Refugee Day, I would like to spread your love. So everyone do I love you like this. Put your thumb like this. Okay, Rachel, can you make a screenshot? Themba, put your thumb. Put your thumb out also. Okay, yay. Okay, thank you everyone and have a great day. And I love you all of the friends. Thank you so much. And bye bye. Have a good day. Bye bye. Bye bye, Noah. Bye bye, Tin. Bye bye, Nakibula, Adam, Lutafa, Yuhanee, Hayso, Bakia, Pimei, Mackie, Sifa, Daniel, Ruta, and all of the people from KWO. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye bye.